The link to the training will be available on our website at www.givestlday.org just later today, in case you need to go back or if you miss any part of it. So we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to introduce our wonderful presenter, Maelynn Brown. Maelynn is our project manager at NeonOne, the platform provider for the Give STL Day website. She's been with NeonOne for about 4 years, and she is our go-to woman for all things Give STL Day. We have regular meetings with her to make sure that the website is functioning as it should and is set up for your success. Today, she's going to go through step-by-step the registration process and just give you some best practices on how to set up your profile and cover some information about how to use NeonOne's help centers. So Maelynn, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see that? Okay. Awesome, thanks. Also, so to get started, of course, you navigate to the givestlday.org website. From the home page, in the top right-hand corner is a login button. From the drop-down, you'll select nonprofit. And then from the login screen for nonprofits, there's a few different options here since registration is open. So the first one, of course, is logging in as a returning organization. So if your organization has participated in the past, you already have an account within the system and you can log in as returning. If you may be a new user to an organization who has participated before, there is a support widget in the right-hand corner over here where you can submit a request to our direct support team who can help you gain access to the system. They can also help you reset your password if maybe you forget it since last year's timeframe to log in. If you're brand new to Give STL Day and you have not participated before, you have one extra step before you log in to register, which is applying as a new organization. So when you click this button, a quick eligibility form is presented to you that you'll submit to see if you meet the requirements to be a part of Give STL Day. Once you submit that, you'll receive a confirmation email, as well as you'll receive follow-up email and instructions with next steps and what to do going forward. So once you are approved as a brand new organization and deemed eligible, you are basically logging in as the same as a returning organization who has submitted before and registering your profile to be public. So I'm going to go ahead and register as a returning organization. As well as if you are a user who has participated before and you forget your password, you can request a password reset link from here yourself, or our direct support team is always happy to help you. All right, so I'm logged into my profile here. It's basically just confirming that this is the organization that I want to register for the event, just because maybe you're managing or helping register more than one organization for Give STL Day, you do have the option to use the same login to do that. However, I'm going to skip this button for now because I want to go through each of the top tabs up here and talk about your entire Gives Day profile as well as registering. So from the Gives Day performance dashboard, you'll see that there's an announcement section as well as an event date milestone. So there's a lot of important information in here, such as when registration closes, when your early giving begins, as well as information about your extended giving period this year for 10 extra hours of giving for the 10-year anniversary. As well as you'll always see your registration status in this right-hand corner here. So this is a big reason I wanted to come to this screen first. You'll see that this is red and it says registration required, and this will update as you're going through the process. So once you submit, it turns yellow and says waiting review. And then once you're approved, it'll be green and say approved. So I'm going to click the register my organization button so we can take a look at the registration form. So this form is fairly easy, and the best thing about it is no matter if you're a returning organization from last year or the year prior, or if you just submitted your eligibility form and you were recently approved to participate, This form is pre-filled with the information you have already filled out. So you don't have to retype anything, and it's very easy for you to go through and update anything that may have changed, or maybe refresh your profile information towards the bottom, which I'll highlight, just as a fresh update or updated information. So you'll just skim over organization name. Of course, you can update your logo if it has changed. This custom URL area, the easiest way to explain this is that this is going to be your direct URL to your profile on the Give STL Day platform. So the custom URL, the easiest thing I think to do, because it will be www.givestlday.org / and then whatever you include for your custom URL. So I always recommend folks to just use their organization name or maybe your organization acronym, because then it's very easy to remember what you have here. You'll be asked your operating budget, your primary category, as well as you have an option to select a secondary category. You'll be asked your county within, your founding year. Have you updated your organization's address for 2023? So I want to highlight this one. The address is down here a little bit further on the form, but it's important to make sure that your address is updated for 2023 if anything has changed, just so the team at St. Louis Community Foundation is able to get you your check with your money that you raised from the event. So just confirm that that has been updated. You can choose if you would like it to be mailed to your physical address or maybe your mailing address, if that's your preference. Ask some questions here. Your IRS determination letter. So if you've participated in the past, your letter from last year will already be included for you. However, you can remove this and just update this easily. The public contact information. So this is what will be displayed on your organization profile. So maybe this isn't the best for you to put your personal organization email if you have a general organization email such as info@ or your support email for an overall bandwidth. I would recommend to put that email here, or you might potentially be asking to receive a lot of emails that might not be just for you. Here's the address information that we were just discussing. So you do have the ability to put a different mailing address if maybe you have a PO box or it's better for it to be directed elsewhere. And then you can choose if you would like your physical or your mailing address to be displayed on your profile, or not to publish one at all. All right, the social media section here. So this gives you the ability to really allow donors or the public to follow you and engage with you more on platforms outside of Give STL Day. So they'll be able to follow you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, just to see the updates and what you guys are doing. If you don't have an account, that's perfectly okay. You'll just click this, my organization does not have a LinkedIn, and it will hide the link URL for you. Down here is some of your public facing content. So the first section here is not a requirement, but it's the alert text option. So this is if you have an urgent need within your organization. A lot of this was really used during COVID, like peak times of COVID, as well as if there's sort of an emergency of some kind of relief needed. This would put a little red banner at the top of your organization profile, which would draw attention and make folks aware that there was something critical that you really need within your organization. Not a requirement though, but a nice little feature if you have one. For your mission statement and more about us, this is really when you tell what you guys are doing, really what you're trying to achieve within the community and how you are assisting the public. Keywords here, also not a requirement, but this helps hone in kind of the search when folks are searching for you. So keywords, say if you are a animal rescue, some keywords I might use are animal, veterinarian, certain things that are similar to your organization that someone might type into the search bar. And last but not least is the terms and conditions area. So you'll sign below to confirm you have agreed to the terms and conditions, but first you'll download them here by clicking on here, and this will open them in a new page for you. So once you open the terms and conditions, read through this. It's your agreement for the St. Louis Community Foundation, which you can download this to your desktop if you would like to keep a copy as well. But back on the tab, and then to sign this, you basically click and hold your mouse and just sign in this box here. And it does not have to be perfect, just so you know, it's a little funny. And then you'll save changes and submit for approval. So you'll see here your registration has been submitted for review. I have also received an email that says, hey, thanks for submitting your registration. We'll take a peek at it and follow up with next steps in the email. So anything that you do regarding registration, you will have email communication letting you know what's next and how to move forward. Right now, though, since my registration has been submitted, I have the opportunity to set my event goals if I know them. So maybe I have a goal of 10,000, but maybe during early giving, I want to raise 3,000. And through fundraising pages, I'll raise 1,000. You can make these whatever you want, or if you aren't sure of them right away, you can click the no thanks and I'll do this later. As you can see, my status has adjusted to awaiting review. And I am now inside this My Public Profile tab. So this is where you can expand on your profile and add more information, add photos, which we'll dive into in just a second. On the left-hand side, you'll see the different sections of your profile that you can kind of dive into. But first we'll start on the overview page. So this just shows your status and if there's anything for you to do right now. Once you are approved, this area does also change to approved, but maybe if there's something you're missing from your profile, you'll receive an email correspondence and then the information that's missing will be under your to-do list. You can always edit the public profile information, which is the same form we were just looking at, which is the information we just submitted. So maybe you want to expand more on your More About Us section or add more to your mission statement, you can do that. But let's take a look into more of these sub tabs on the left side. So first we'll look at donation levels. None of these sections on the left-hand side are required of you, but it does give more expansion to your profile, lets the public know more about your organization. You can highlight programs and events, so it helps folks get more involved within your organization and can support you in other ways, maybe not just financially. So donation levels, though, do go to the financial support piece. So these are options that will preset donation amounts in the donation cart. So really what this is doing is giving donors an idea of what what their donations might be used for and used to assist with. So you can set as many of these as you'd like, or you don't have to have any. No matter if you have them or not, the donors will always have the option to donate a custom amount. So whatever they want to do. This doesn't restrict them from maybe they want to donate $70. They would still be able to do so. So you can add a donation level. It's very easy. So if we added a $70 option and the label is displayed, so make sure you have correct spelling and stuff here. You can always edit this later, but I'll just put example and submit this. When you're taking a look at these, maybe you had some in your account before. So if they are currently displaying, show will be grayed out. So whatever is selected will be grayed, and what is blue is allowing you to change it So just to give you an example, clothing for family is not currently showing on my profile since the hide is highlighted. But if I wanted to go ahead and add this, I'd just click show. And maybe this feeds a family for a week of $100 with inflation. That is probably incorrect. So you can edit this and change it, or you can hide this one from review. The next is the multimedia section. So this is where you can really make your profile pretty fun. You can add photos or videos of your organization, you know, at an event or what you guys are doing within the organization. You can add also as many photos and videos as you want. The title is not displayed publicly, but you'll select the type. Pictures, you can drag and drop or upload. YouTube or Vimeo links, you'll basically grab your public link from your YouTube account and paste this in here. Just to let you know, the videos do need to be public and not private just to your profile, or they won't play. But to upload a picture, it's very easy to do. And this populates my pictures here. So I can drag and drop to rearrange them, as well as maybe one's old and I want to replace it or delete it, I can go ahead and do that. The program section. So this is an area where you can highlight programs you have within your organization. So, you know, we'll talk a little bit about fundraisers, but you might be hoping to raise money for specific programs within your organization. So you can highlight those here. You click add a new program, fill out the name. You can provide the budget if you want to. I do suggest to put a program description. It's not required, but this helps give people, of course, information about the program itself, beneficiaries, successes, and progress. And once you submit that, it will display on your profile. Again, if you have more than one, you can drag and drop them in the priority that you wish. Or remove it from your account if maybe it's a program you no longer support. The events tab, so this is a fun one. Maybe you have events coming up. This could be after Give STL Day, if you would like. You can add events, virtual and public events to your profile. So you would fill out the event name, when the date is, the start time. And if it's virtual, you can add, you know, your Zoom link, etc., where you'll be hosting the event. The events will display on your profile up until the date of the event, and then after that date has passed, it will no longer show on your profile any further. If it is previous events, so say if I'm an organization from last year, but I had a Christmas event, my Christmas event would no longer be displaying because the date is passed. So that would automatically fall off your account. Volunteer needs is a good one, just because donors or the public may be interested in supporting your organization more than just financially. Maybe they want to be involved and help you out with what you're doing, or maybe they can help support you in these programs or events that you're listing. So you can list volunteer needs that you have, a description such as what it would be for, where it would be, and start and end time. You can even, if you have a volunteer coordinator or somebody that you would like to communicate this from your organization with, you can list them as a contact for folks to reach out to. The needs area is kind of similar. This gives you the option to list needs that you have that aren't just financial. So this could be, in this example, of course, community needs for our homeless. This could be asking for tents or sleeping bags or jackets for a specific size or school supplies. Maybe you're having a food drive and you need canned goods. You can put information about this here. And adding those is very simple. And you can have as many as you want here too. The documents tab is really just a place that you probably won't use too much, but this is where your IRS determination letter will be stored once it's uploaded during your registration form. You are more than welcome to add other documents here if you log in and manage this outside of just the event, but really what this will mostly be used for is just holding your letter And contacts here is not really used because we don't ask for any extra contacts other than your user section, which we'll look at in just a minute. Next, we're moving down the line. So looking at my fundraisers, these are peer-to-peer fundraisers, which I know you guys are having a more in-depth webinar about later on. So we won't dive too much into peer-to-peer fundraising, but this is where you as an organization, once you're approved, you'll see the Create Fundraiser button available for you to select. And you can create peer fundraisers for your organization. Maybe you want to compete with programs and you want to really have a peer fundraiser advocated for one of your programs, you can do that. Something that's really fun too is that you can show all. So you change the status here and you can see any fundraisers that were created last year. So maybe you had one that you liked a lot. Very easy to create and do, but you can always click these buttons. And once you're approved, you would have the option to copy the old fundraiser, update it just a little bit, and publish it as the new one for this year. The My Donations page, so this is good information here. So this is a historical database, which basically has all the donor information for any and all donations that you've received through Give STL Day in the past. So there's a lot you can do with this. It will preset the Gives Day here for the one this year. So Give STL Day 2023, and you'll see any donations that have come through. This will update automatically as you start receiving donations during early giving. However, maybe you want to look at what you received last year. You can click Gives Day and select 2022 and see the total as well as all data here. You could even hone in a little further and maybe you want to look at Give STL Day 2022, but maybe you just want to see what you raised during the early giving period. So you can filter by transaction date time, or if you want to see, oh, my friend donated, how much did they donate so I can thank them? You can search by name or even amount. Something else that's great about this donation area is there's this section over here that says click here to display additional donor and donation data. So if we click this, you can add in or hide extra fields. So maybe you don't want to know this address to field, for instance. Sometimes that's just unit numbers, and sometimes people just put that in address 1. You could always hide that one and it'll remove from the list. Maybe you want to see who first-time donors are, so brand new donors to your organization, and if they have left a note for you about the donation. You can add in other fields that are provided on the donation form, and then you can always export this list. So maybe you need to put this into your QuickBooks account or another place outside of this hub. You can export this and it'll go right to your desktop as an Excel file for you to use going forward. The next section we'll take a look at is the My Users area. So this is a list of basically who has access to log into your organization. So you can always add a new user here. Say if maybe you have a new volunteer or someone new that's helping you, you can add a new user. Just list their first name, last name, and email. Phone number is not required, but it's nice in the event that, you know, Emily or Greg need to reach out to you. But once you fill this out and click submit, this will send them a password reset email so they can set a password themselves. If they are no longer with your organization, so we'll just pretend that MK is no longer with my organization and I can remove access. And this would basically drop it off the list and be under this inactive user section. When you're a user, you do have the ability to receive donation notification emails. So as you're receiving donations, once early giving opens, you'll receive an email that says something similar to, hey, your organization received a donation from this person for this amount. If you're not the person that needs to receive those emails, you can turn the email communication off by going to manage settings and then email communication, you'd click remove. So When you're looking at these, if remove is the option that you have, you are granted it. If you're not granted it, for this instance, I am not receiving email notifications, it gives me the option to grant this. So then I would receive them. The next step is our resource center. So there's tons of stuff in this resource center, and it even branches out even further for you. So just looking at some of the top things, there are quite a few sections in here. So some awesome things to check out. The Nonprofit Support Center. So this is a NeonOne support center that has FAQs on how to build out your profile, resetting passwords, all kinds of great things in there, as well as peer-to-peer fundraising guides, how to get donors engaged and retain donors from previous years. Emily has also added a Canva guide for you guys, as well as there's the Give STL Day Dropbox that has your graphics and images and all the fun things for marketing and branding in here. So if you click into these, for instance, the NeonOne support guide, you'd click into nonprofits, and there's different sections with different articles for you to review. If you click the Give STL Day Dropbox, you can then click into icons and logos, celebrating 10 years, I'll take a PNG, and so forth. And that kind of wraps it up. I am going to go back to the Give Day performance area so you can see that my status did change to awaiting review. Also, if you set those goals for the event after registration when that form appeared, or if you clicked no thanks, I can do this later, once you come back to your Give Day performance dashboard, this is where you can update those goals. So say maybe you didn't know them at first and you want to set them now, you can come here and adjust them, or maybe you meet your goal, so you want to increase it to have a higher one. You can definitely do that during the event as well.
Thank you, Maelynn. That's super. We had a question come through in the chat about what your suggestion is for the best practice for separating different keywords, spaces, commas, semicolons.
Yeah, I would just use a comma.
Will it work if people do a hard return or a semicolon, or is comma really the best way to?
I would say comma. I don't think semicolons work. Probably a hard return like an enter would, but I would stay away from the semicolon. So
okay.
I'm sure about that one.
Commas it is. Great, thank you. And then for anybody who has been paying attention to the chat, I've been dropping in a few links to resources related to topics Maelynn was covering. Those are all available under the Dropbox that she showed you a moment ago. We've been putting most of our resources on there, and they're always going to be available for you to use. We had a question about the pros and cons for pushing an early giving campaign with Give STL Day versus a regular donation directly to your organization's website. I love this question. Katie, thank you for asking that. We have a resource on this on our Dropbox, but I'll go over it just a little bit. So early giving is totally optional. You are not required to participate. You can participate in Give STL Day on May 10th without participating, in early giving at all. But there's definitely an advantage to participating in terms of strategy, because early giving allows you to observe donor behavior. So on the giving day, you know a little bit better about how you need to reach out to your audiences, and you may have already fulfilled part of your fundraising goal. We also have some cash prizes that will be awarded to organizations which receive donations during the early giving period. So that's like kind of a nice bonus. It also just makes it easy for people to donate. Kind of widening that window to where we can accept donations on our site is definitely helpful to certain organizations, especially those of you who may not have the ability to, it's not as easy for you to take donations on your own website, but the decision to participate in early giving or not really just depends on your organization's individual strategy and goals. So if anybody else has any questions for Maelynn, you are welcome to come off mute and ask them or drop them in the chat. Maelynn, is there anything else that you actually had to present on today? I feel like you went over everything eloquently, just like always.
No, that is it. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll just give a minute here to open it up for questions, but if there aren't any, we'll be able to give you all back a little bonus time for your Thursday morning. And just in case anybody did miss it, this training is being recorded. It will be uploaded to the Community Foundation's YouTube account, and the link will be posted on the trainings page of the Give STL Day website. Okay, it looks like I just had somebody DM me a question in the chat here. Thank you for this question, asking about how quickly registrations will be reviewed once they are submitted. So it's just Greg and I reviewing these registrations. As you can imagine, it's a lot to keep up with. We're expecting about 1,100 nonprofits to register for Give STL Day this year. That being said, we'll review your registration in the order they are received as quickly as we possibly can. I promise. We tried to not have people wait longer than 2 weeks in like the January, February months. And then as we get closer to the giving day, we'll do them even faster. Especially once the giving period is open. We try not to have the waiting period for you guys be more than like a day or two, because we know you want your site to be up on the website to receive those donations. So we are on it. All right, anybody else? I'm always worried about like cutting somebody off as they're typing. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you to everybody who joined us this morning. I hope that you found it helpful. Oh, Rachel, last question in the chat here. There are not any fees to participate in Give STL Day. You will not be charged a fee when you register. The only fees taken off are credit card and platform fees that are taken off of the donations you will receive on Give STL Day. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.